Hello, everybody. Welcome and thank you for listening to Targeting Winners, episode 81. The first of two consecutive weeks of some of the best football that you'll hear. You can find us on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube. Click like and subscribe when you get there. Go ahead. We'll wait. Okay. Hopefully you're done. So, Darren, how you doing today? We're heading into the greatest weekend of the year, I think.
I know, it's terrible. It seems like we waited so long for the season to start, and it seems like just last week it started, and now it's like almost over. It's like, what the heck, man? Went by way too quick.
Not for me as a Florida State fan. I cannot wait for this game to be over.
That's fair.
And I don't have to feel obligated to watch this team this year. But that's the good news. It'll be over. Norvell can do whatever he has to do to get ready for next year and move on. But, we got Thanksgiving, not to mention all the NFL stuff, which goes without saying, but we got college football. Oh, my God. This is a great weekend. Great weekend. I might leave my couch for about an hour total for the 4 days. How about you? I don't think I'm going to leave the couch much more than that.
I actually have Saturday off, so I know from taking the last couple weeks of the regular season, I basically have focused on. I think last week I was focused on 6 games: 2 Ohio State games, 2 Notre Dame games, and 2 UCLA games. So UCLA losing last week, I don't have to care about them this weekend. So from 12 to 3:30, I'll be watching Ohio State, and from 3:30 to 7, I'll be watching Notre Dame. So for at least 7 hours, I will not be moving, hoping that my futures bet live to see another week. So
yeah. Well, speaking of futures bets, I got burned. As you know, I placed a bet plus 4,000 Colorado to win the Big 12, and that's what I want to talk a little bit about it now. They actually offered me a buyout, which was the equivalent of 16 units. And I was like, nope, let's wait. And hopefully they should be able to beat Kansas. No problem. Kansas sucks after all. And no, they had other ideas. So now the buyout went down to the equivalent of 4 units. So given everything that has to happen in order for Colorado to even make the championship game, let alone win it, I'm going to take that cash out, but I'm technically losing 12 units here. So just want to talk a little bit about it. I mean, we see these high odds, all this high juice on there, plus 4,000, in hindsight, and it's easy to do everything in hindsight, but I was like, I should have just cashed it out, take the win. The bankroll doesn't care where the money comes from or how you get it. So with that in mind, I placed another futures bet. So if you're on YouTube now, you can see this. Please like and subscribe. But we're going to look at the projected college football playoff. So I'm sure a lot of this will change, but I'm hoping nothing too drastic. So I did place a future bet plus 6,000 on Indiana. Now, do I think Indiana's going to win? No, not at all. But in this current projection as ESPN, they're playing Penn State in the first round. And if they win that, which I think they can, they're playing Miami in the second round. And I think they can beat Miami. If they do that, they're in a Final Four at plus 6,000. The plan is, hey, they're going to offer a buyout, and then I'll just take the buyout from there. So it's probably just another angle to just add money to the bankroll. I mean, you don't have to you can get money without actually winning the bet. I mean, if obviously if Indiana does catch lightning in a bottle, win the national championship, I'll feel pretty stupid, but I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that. I mean,
the thing you're talking about is makes sense. I mean, when we do our futures bets, we always throw that caveat in there. It's like, the intent is to hedge. I mean, you were probably the only one that thought it made sense to bet plus 4,000 Colorado. I know Pete and I mocked you, and we're the ones that look really stupid here. But the thing is, it's like, even when you bet this, like, you still have to question, like, when do you start hedging, and is it going to be worth it? So, like, you've got Indiana there. Technically, they would need to win, 3 games to get to the national championship. It could be not productive or beneficial to your bankroll if, okay, so say you bet Indiana to win the national championship. So are you going to bet Penn State on the money line to cover that? If so, that's more money in your bankroll that you're using up. If you don't, then you run the risk of losing Indiana in that first round. But let's say they win. Okay, then they go to Miami in this scenario. Are you going to bet on Miami on the money line to hedge then? I mean, I think you have to figure out with your bankroll what your situation is, what your odds are. How many times do you want to hedge? Like, I'm looking at this right now, and if you don't mind, I'll use an example that I have because I would love for that bracket to actually be legit, because I have Notre Dame at 28-1. I have Ohio State at 8-1. They could not, they wouldn't meet until the finals if they both got there. But, am I going to bet on Arizona State money line over Ohio State just to hedge that bet? Probably not. Am I going to bet on Boise State money line if they get Ohio State in the quarterfinals? Probably not. I would hope if I was looking at that scenario, I would just run the risk that Ohio State makes the semis and then worry about it at that point. Bottom part of the bracket, if Notre Dame beats SMU, I'm not betting money line on SMU. I may bet Texas on the money line though, just to cover that, because their defense isn't terrible either. But you just have to also keep in mind, how many games am I going to have to hedge? How confident am I that my team is winning, that first round game? And it's new to all of us because we've never had this before. So, again, you've got another 2 weeks to worry about it, because you won't know anything until, was it December 9th?
9th, I believe.
Yeah, after all the conference championship. Well, okay, whatever that Sunday is after the Saturday, the conference championship games, all that'll come out Sunday afternoon. You can start plotting your strategy. But if you're just trying to figure out the math behind it, Tim and I went to a high school. It's not really known for math prowess, but thankfully there are plenty of hedging calculators out there where you basically put in your initial bet. You put in the odds you got on that team. You put in the current money line odds for the team they're playing. It'll tell you how much you need to bet to achieve a profit from your original bet. And I know it sounds confusing, but it really isn't. So, again, there's things to, like, if I were you, I wouldn't have cashed in when they went to play Kansas. I mean, my God, why would you think the way Colorado had been playing that Kansas was gonna beat them?
Because it's the Big 12. That was my thing. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I woke up that morning. I had a bad feeling. I was just, and you're watching game day. They were hyping up Kansas a little bit. And I was like, oh, crap. And it wasn't like Lee Corso saying it or anything. It was, people that actually are pretty good at looking at this stuff. And they're probably the only people in the country that watch more than we do. So,
it's funny you mentioned that, because I noticed that Colorado Saturday morning was like a 2.5 or a 3-point favorite. At kickoff, it was down to 1.5. So a lot of what they like to call well-respected money came pouring in on Kansas a couple hours before kickoff, and that proved to be accurate. But yeah, I mean, I get cashing out now. I mean, you have guaranteed yourself a profit at least, 4.5 units or whatever the math came out to. And like you said, there's a lot. I mean, you never know what your sportsbook app, what their cash out rules are. Like, Colorado plays Friday night. But are they going to suspend the cash out all the way through the weekend if they win? Probably.
Probably to make sure, because
giving you the option to cash out on Saturday morning is not beneficial to them. So they're going to do what's best for them.
They're not looking out for me.
And if they lose, then your bet's a loss anyway. Because if Colorado loses Friday night, you're not getting a cash out option at all. They're taking your money.
Enjoy the Blue Bonnet Bowl or whatever.
There's a lot to consider. But yeah, definitely Google that hedge calculator. It's very helpful. It's also very depressing, because when I had the Oklahoma State 5,000, I used the calculator, and I said to you, I'm like, my wife is never going to let me do this. I mean, I literally would have had to have put down, what was it, like 33 times my initial bet to guarantee like a 4 or 5 units of profit. I didn't even want to bring that up to her.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at it this way. It's like I'm not even looking to hedge with Indiana at all. This is like I'm betting Indiana can get to the Final Four, and I'm going to smash that buyout button like there's no tomorrow. Just like break my phone, smashing that thing.
Yeah, that's fair too. As long as they're offering you one, that's definitely fair. But
yeah, I mean, my other
bracket,
two futures that are still alive, I have Sam Houston and the Gio Lopez experience. I still have those guys, and they're still there, and they're they're still alive. And the one I have that's not from a casino, you can't go up to the booth at a casino and say, "Hey, I have this ticket here that might hit. You want to?" They're going to tell you where to go and how fast to get there. So
I'm looking at this bracket, and I'm just like, obviously I want Ohio State to win this week, but I kind of look at that as like I kind of almost want them to lose again to Oregon and just take the 5 seed. I mean, look at that path to get to the semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State's got the extra game, but I mean, if you're Oregon, do you want to be the 1 seed and play, potentially Georgia? No, thanks.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like if Ohio State beats Michigan, I don't know what I really want in the because I mean, listen, if Ohio State beats Michigan, whoever wins Ohio State Oregon, you're going to be your 1 seed because they're the 1 and 2 teams in the country right now. So that's probably the only definite that you're going to get if Ohio State beats Michigan. But there's so many different ways this bracket could fall. So I mean, honestly, for me, there's no sense worrying about it until the following weekend. And as long as I see those 2 beautiful teams sitting at 5 and 7 still in there somewhere, when I made those bets, I was like, just be one of the 12 in the bracket.
Right. Well, I figure. I mean, I know I'm down 4, but I still got a lot of bullets left in the chamber, so I'm firing a shot.
Yeah, well, I'm down way more than 4, but Notre Dame can get me to the plus side really easily if they go through.
Well, I'm close to even now with the cash out of the Colorado ticket. Anyway, I think that gets me, if not even, pretty close to it. Like
I think it gets you close. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's like 4.4 units. I'll be up or something like that. So,
I don't know. I haven't done the math.
It just sucks. I should have just slammed on that thing last week.
Well,
woulda, coulda, shoulda. I know now because now it's like instead of making these future bets, to hedge, I'm making them to just cash out early. You get these, like I said, it's hard to hedge because we're not picking plus 400. We're picking 5,000 last year, 4,000 this year, 6,000 on Indiana. It's going to be hard to hedge any of those anyway.
It is.
Yeah.
But we know that now. We never thought those bets would actually we would actually get the chance to hedge either of those. But
for as rocky as we've been on the weekly picks, our futures bets this year and last year, we picked really Michigan last year back in June. We picked Washington.
Show number 1. Yeah.
Show number 1. Our first ever pick, Michigan national champion. So I mean, you can't. Of course, it's only downhill from there, I guess. But no, I mean, a lot of our picks, the Washington last year, Oklahoma State went right down to the last game. I mean, and this year I've got 3. I mean, you got 2.
Yeah, I got 2 left. The UCLA one hit for me last week with their loss to UNC. So,
and the Sam Houston one that already hit for me for the 4.5.
All right, let's get into your picks because I got nothing this week, and so we will go. You want to rip through yours, and then we can rip through Pete's real quick, and then we can.
Well, we'll go back and forth. We'll start with mine. With the easiest pick for me this week. I actually went through and just to be fair and give Florida State the benefit of the doubt, I went through my little thing, entered in all my numbers, and it's still, my God. And I remember, I think I texted you if it's anything less than 15. And then you happen to be on your thing. You said, well, it's 14.5 now. I said, cool. I got on Hard Rock Bet and it was 14. So I got Florida minus 14. I bet 4 units.
Boom. The biggest play of the year. Look at that.
Yeah. I mean, God damn. I can't wait for this game to be over with. And then I could just forget this year ever happened for Florida. I almost wish they lost last week and to California just so they can be the first team to go 13-0. And then the next year go 0-13, and and like
Well,
or
0
and
and
12.
13 would require a bowl game. Because there's
Yeah.
only
Okay.
2
0 and
months.
12,
Yeah.
whatever the hell it is. That would have been cool. At least we can hang our
That
hat
is-
on something. We did something so impossible. Only Florida State could have done that.
No, what you did was pretty impossible. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you. Dun, dun, so yeah, I mean the turnover ratio alone is in favor of Florida at plus 13. Whew. A lot of the other things I look at, third down percentage, everything like that. The penalties are sort of even. So because Florida, they're on fire as of late. They've really come together. Obviously, they beat Ole Miss. They beat LSU. Yeah, they're hitting at all cylinders at the right time. I mean, we did score 41 points against Charleston Southern. I didn't even know that was a place. They've only won one game. They beat Furman, and I don't even know where Furman is. Is that like in Pennsylvania
I want to say
somewhere?
North Carolina.
North Carolina? I mean,
I don't know for sure. Don't hold me to that.
well, if it's in the Carolinas, I mean, Biff Poggi might be there next year because they only had one win this year. So,
Maybe.
But so yeah, that was my first pick. I mean, if FSU wins, hey, that's still good, I guess. I can tell the Gators, yeah, we suck, but we beat you, so suck on that. But I do not see this happening. They don't score. I mean, they don't score. I mean, I don't want to go on for another hour, but I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. But Florida huge.
No, I mean, you covered most of it. Florida State has shown no signs of getting better. Florida has definitely seemed to turn the corner with the combination of Napier staying and Lagway playing.
Yeah.
Rivalry game. This is rivalry week. Anything can happen, but you just look at the numbers, and I mean, half the Florida State teams probably already got their transfer paperwork filled out. On a side note, I'm dying to see when the games of the year come out, like in May or June, the week one, whatever, Alabama going to Florida State. I hope that line is really, really small because I am unloading on Alabama, assuming Milroe comes back. Something fierce.
I don't if he comes back or not. I mean,
well, it depends on if he comes back. I mean, there's.
Is it in Alabama or is it a home and home?
No, it's at Florida State, which is why I'm hoping I can get a nice low number for Bama. But yeah, if that pops up June, July, and it's like 6.5 or something like that, Bama be my first play of the year.
Yeah. Oh, me too. I'll race you to the window for that one.
There's just not a lot to. I mean, if DJ comes back, he's only had 5 games there. Now he's got to learn, under another offensive coordinator. The defense coordinator is going to be different.
He can come back.
It's just going to be a whole. It's just going to be a whole new influx of portal transfers, and we saw what happened when they tried that this year. Same thing with Ole Miss. I mean, I totally, or I effed up my numbers, was like putting way too much stock in the quality of these transfer portal classes. I mean, it did not work. And two of the highest ones, or 3 of the highest ones, actually, Louisville, Florida State, and Ole Miss. I mean, none of those teams are going to be playing in the 12-team playoffs. So definitely, I will not be putting as much stock in a highly rated transfer class when I start my numbers for next year.
Well, you heard it here, folks. First, our RPO for 2025. Our
week
first
one,
RPO,
Florida State,
Alabama, whatever it is. Bet Bama.
Bet on Bama.
Bama minus X. Doesn't matter what it is.
Some of those lines are legit because, like, in the summer, Florida State was like a big favorite over Miami. And I know somebody that bet Miami. They were like getting points, and I was just like, wow, I got to start looking at those lines in June and July because there could be some value there if you can you can find some teams that you think are kind of gonna stink. And needless to say, that person catch that bet with minimal issues. But
all right, well, you've got Pete's on there. What the?
Yeah,
let's go to Pete's team.
His with a sentence or two. Obviously, all of his are Big Ten because that's what he knows, and they're all totals. That's also what he knows. So he's got under here. Oh, I'm sorry, no, this is the one game he's got over. So he's got Michigan, Ohio State. He's got this game over 43.5. He did say in one of his sentences to me, he thinks Ohio State is going to roll. He didn't say whether he would lay the 20.5 or not, but he thinks Ohio State's good for 35 points here. which means Michigan only needs to put up a 10 spot, which is certainly possible, but who knows, man? I mean, and also when I was looking at this game, I saw a thing on Twitter that the last 10 games in this series have all gone over the posted total. So again, not much of a trends guy, but 10-0 to the over in the last 10 meetings, and with a total only 43.5. I mean, this game, it's right up there with Bama and Auburn. I mean, if either team gets a chance to add 1 or 2 touchdowns late in the game, they're going to. I mean, could Ohio State get 44 on their own? Probably not. Michigan's defense pretty decent, but
Yeah. Well, isn't this the rivalry where I think it was Woody Hayes? He went for 2. They were up like 30, and they asked him why he went for 2, and he's like, "Well, they wouldn't let me go for 3." So,
yeah.
so.
I mean, I went to a Michigan game a long time ago, and when they flashed the Ohio State score, and they were losing 7-0. You would have thought Michigan just won the national championship. I mean, they
don't like each other.
No, that's fair. That's fair to say.
So.
But yeah, so his first play, and these are all 1 unit plays for him this week. But yeah, he's going over 43.5, which is available at FanDuel for this matchup.
All right, we're going to move into my second pick for the week. Illinois against Northwestern. I'm taking Illinois. I'm laying the 7. I just thought, just looking at it, I try to set the line myself of what I was, what I think the line would be. And I had it at probably like 10 or so, and this is less. So I was like, okay. And then I looked at the numbers. The defense, Illinois' defense is pretty legit. I really like them a lot. The penalties are pretty much even. A lot of the key stats, but my favorite one is the turnovers, and that's heavily in favor of Illinois. So I like Illinois at Northwestern, even though they're on the road, laying 7.
Yeah, I like Illinois this year. That game last week was crazy. I hope they don't have some kind of emotional letdown. I don't know if you saw that or not, but they're setting up for like a long field goal. Rutgers took a timeout, so Illinois was like, well, field goal's probably too far anyway, and then they threw a touchdown pass. Rough year for Ray and his Rutgers bet. But yeah, I like Illinois. Altmaier started out hot for Illinois. Yeah, he cooled off a little against some decent defenses. Northwestern does have a decent defense, but offensively, they really can't hang with Illinois here. So,
I don't see that at all.
Would be great. It would have been cool if you could have found a 6.5 somewhere, but even with 7, Northwestern's on their second quarterback, and neither one of them worth a damn. So, yeah, I could see where your thoughts lie with this one.
Okay. And this is a game I like. I actually been to this game years ago at Wisconsin. We got Minnesota at Wisconsin. This is another one of Pete's plays. What are you thinking?
Yeah, he's going under 43.5 here. I don't know if this was a weather-related play or not, but even if it wasn't, Wisconsin's just so bad on offense. They just fired their offensive coordinator. I don't know if that's going to provide them a spark or not. When you look at these teams, they're just run first all the time. He didn't really leave too many notes here on this. He just does not trust Wisconsin's offense, and I don't blame him. They've had many games where they could have done something and just never got on track with Braden Locke at QB. So, yeah, I agree here. He's got 1 unit under 43.5.
Yeah, this is a very fun game to go to. I said we take our yearly trip. I'm really going to, push going to Madison next year. That's just so much fun. But yeah, I'm rooting for. I've won a few bets this year with Minnesota. Just in my heart, rooting for Wisconsin on this one. My last play of the week, we've got Oregon State against Boise State, and I'm taking Boise State laying 19. They got the Janty kid, number 2, know the name and the number, so didn't have to look it up. I've seen him just go across the goal line about 9,000 times this year. He's a special player. He's probably going to be the first pick in a lot of rookie drafts in fantasy football next year. And again, the turnovers are just insane here. The sacks are insane. Boise's getting a lot of pressure here. I know it's a big number, I don't mind, and I think they win. I think they win big over Oregon State.
Yeah, Oregon State's one of those teams I can't figure out, man. I just there's a handful of them that whatever happens, the Washington Capitals. If I'm betting hockey, I can't figure them out.
Right.
Oregon State, man, and I watched sadly enough, the Oregon State Washington State game last week only because it was one of the 4 games on the multi-view that when I had my YouTube TV on, and you would have thought Washington State 4 games better than Oregon State. You would think they would steamroll. No, Oregon State takes them down because why wouldn't they? But they might have shot their proverbial wad there with that game. But Boise State, they got a chance for a bye week, man. And we say this every week: style points matter. They're going to do everything they can to probably steamroll here to get that extra week off.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's incentive right there.
Yeah, that's what they'll get UNLV in the Mountain West game in all likelihood. If UNLV beats Nevada, I think, and they're a big favorite there. So.
Yeah. All right, we got Pete's last play of the week.
Oh, I don't even need to tell you where he's going. Even at 39.5, he's going under here. He hates both these offenses with a passion. I mean, I know he was big on Iowa early in the season, but they're still defensively really solid. And Nebraska's actually really good defensively as well. But now Brendan Sullivan is supposedly out for the year. Iowa's quarterback, so they're on their 3rd string. And I don't even know who the hell that is, nor what number he wears.
I can't help either.
Dylan Raiola has regressed incredibly since his hot start, as has Nebraska for that matter. So, the Nebraska finally got a 6th win, at a nice little field storm, so they could be just emotionally checked out and waiting for their bowl game. This could be 17-13, if you're lucky. So, neither of these teams show a lot offensively. I can totally see why he's going on the under here. But yeah, he got one unit, 39.5, and he still went under.
This might be one of the games I don't watch. I do a lot of flipping back and forth. Even between multi-views, I go back and forth sometimes, and it's just this might be one game I'm I've seen this is like Florida State against Florida State. They can't score. It's
I won't even multi-view this weekend. I mean, I'll have nothing but Ohio State, Michigan on at noon and 3:30. But that's just that's me.
One of those games you turn it on, hide the remote because
I will not. I probably won't be doing much channel surfing for the first. I don't even know what's on at 7 o'clock to be honest with you, but my kids are still in town for the weekend, so maybe after they get out of work at 8, we'll do some family stuff before they head back to college on Sunday. But
have we heard from Mark from Coach's Hot Seat?
No, we were recording a little too early today. But he did say that he's got his rankings updated. My favorite team of all, Florida International, like McIntyre, who I can't stand, totally let me down on my futures bet with losses to Monmouth and Kennesaw State. And they're favored by 8 this week, which if they win, they'll get to 4 wins. So they'll fall a win short of going over 4.5. So I can look at those 2 losses and be like, thanks, Coach McIntyre. He's number 1. He's number 1 on Mark's list this week. But Mark did say that he would be joining us the Thursday before those quarterfinal games take place on the 20th and the 21st. So we'll break down those 4 games with him.
Excellent.
Yeah, and any other bowl games that are going on that week. But mainly, he's agreed to come on whenever we record on that Thursday, the 19th of December, to break down those 4 big bowl games, or 4. I guess they're not bowl games, the 4 big games, and we'll see who he likes.
Yeah. So don't forget, check out coacheshotseat.com, and we're gonna move on. Let's go to the RPO.
Beautiful.
This is
some good games here.
Even this game is good. Memphis at Tulane. Memphis is getting 13.5. What do you like?
Yeah, that's tomorrow. There was some talk on the ranking show last night about Tulane possibly sneaking up there and making it so no Big 12 team gets in there. So style points, baby. I expect Tulane to roll.
God, yeah. That's a lot I think it's a lot for a team like Memphis. I mean, Memphis isn't that bad. I don't think Tulane is that much better.
Pass this year.
It is a pass.
Yeah, not the Memphis we know and love. They're kind of ass this year.
Michigan's getting 20.5 at Ohio State. Since Pete's not here, I'm leaning Ohio State. I think they could take care of that number pretty
Just win the game.
handedly.
Just win the game, man. That's all I need.
Yeah, that's all you care about. Just win the game. Win by 3.
Yeah, I don't care. You're gonna kick a last second 52-yard field goal. Just win the freaking game. That's all I care.
Tennessee giving 11 to the Pavia Mafia and Vanderbilt.
I think the Pavia Mafia is missing their Don. I think he is injured. I am unsure of his game status, but I know he is injured. And again, Tennessee sitting in that bracket with a nice quarterfinal matchup if the season ended today. God, if Pavia plays, I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah.
Tennessee's offense is up and down. I would run away from that.
If Pavia is out, I'm pounding Tennessee on that, minus 11.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you have any idea what the status is? Or
I don't. He's injured. Look, we have a special guest.
Hey, Molly. All the way from the Wilkes Powerhouse.
From Wilkes,
College.
a fine Division VII college football program that lost to RPI again.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, I'll be out in a second.
No, I just want to see my outfit.
Your outfit is stunning.
Like this is what I'm working with.
Tim, what's the outfit like?
Excellent. Outstanding.
Love the Uggs.
The sweater with some kind of black dress pants. Okay.
Yeah. You have a coat?
Yes, I have my pink coat.
Beautiful. It's freezing outside.
So you're listening at home. She's wearing a pink coat. And if you could have saw her outfit if you had us on YouTube.
Yes.
So like and subscribe because you never know what you're going to see.
And you can see what my daughter wears when she hangs out with her friends who are also home from college this week.
So South Carolina plus 2.5 at Clemson. I'm leaning Clemson here. 2.5.
I'm very anti-Clemson, but
I'm always anti-Clemson.
Yeah, I know you are. I don't know if South Carolina wins there if their resume is even decent enough to get into the bracket. Clemson, where are they? What, first team out, second team out, something like that? They were pretty close to making it. They do kind of need it.
Yeah.
The number says Clemson. Just only 2.5. You don't have to lay that 3. And again, South Carolina's so up and down. I mean, which team what Gamecock is going to show up this week? Who knows?
Who knows?
I would leave slightly Clemson or not even touch it.
Another one from the just win the damn game department. Notre Dame at USC.
The spread went from 6.5 to 7.5, and it's got to say something when it passed 7 and is now at 7.5 and hasn't gone back down. Yeah, I mean, just win the damn game, man. Yep. If you win, you're in. If you don't, you're not.
Right.
Pretty simple. I don't think there's any way even the NCAA finds a way for the money-making machine that are the Fighting Marcus Freemans to get in with what would be 2 very bad losses. So
Auburn at Alabama, another game. I think it's a 3:30 start. That might be another one. Set it and forget it.
I want Auburn to win so badly.
Always. I still can't believe they screwed it up last year. I mean, 4th and 30 or whatever the hell that was.
Yeah,
4th goal for 30.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
You know they're going to be showing that all week long. But
that and the kick.
The Iron Bowl, man. I don't know. 11.5 might be too much. I mean, well, what did you see? God, how bad did you feel knowing that your Oklahoma bet was a win away and they just steamrolled Alabama last week? I mean,
Jesus.
I don't know.
And that flag that they were talking about.
That's probably the biggest rivalry in college football. I would just take Auburn. I mean, 11.5. Why not? Well, I'm not going to, but that would be my lean.
Texas and Texas A&M. They're back to back playing each other here. Finally, after how many years?
Ah, gosh.
10. How long has it been? 10, 12 years?
Seems like a long time, yeah.
It's been a bit. I like Texas. They got to keep their spot.
If he's got his plus 1,400 on A&M winning the SEC, I
know that's right. Mr. Fahrenheit. That's right.
God, I don't know. I mean, what, winner gets Georgia in the SEC title game?
Mm-hmm. I think Texas A&M, if they lose, are out. So
I don't think A&M's got a shot to beat Georgia, even if they do beat Texas. And Quinn Ewers is also banged up with an ankle, so until we know what his status is, I mean, then again, the -5 maybe somebody knows what his status is, because I look at that and I'm like, wow, that's too low. But then again, Arch Manning, he's certainly more mobile than Ewers. I mean, Sad. I would have to take Texas here if it's under a touchdown, but I don't feel great about it.
Yeah. We got Arizona State -9 at Arizona. Hopefully this is on opposite the Florida State game. So once that gets out of hand, I can flip over and watch this one. Rooting for Arizona.
Well, cashed
actually,
out.
it won't matter. I'm going to go ahead and cash that out. So I'm sure Arizona will win now. Everything that has to happen will happen now that I cashed it out.
I kind of want Arizona
to win.
I want Arizona to win. I'm not going to lie. I very unimpressed with the Arizona State coach's behavior. After his terrible play calling almost caused his team to lose, and then his toddler-like antics yelling at the refs, like that's going to make the refs change the rules.
I believe he was one of the offensive coordinators under Willie Taggart at FSU. He was one of the.
I doubt Willie Taggart taught him to act like a little bitch, but apparently he did. That's how he acted.
That's one thing I don't think Willie Taggart ever did, but he didn't coach very well, but he didn't act like a bitch.
If your sportsbook offers an over-under on Arizona State penalties, go over because the refs do not forget.
Yes.
If it's 6.5 or 8.5, play the over, man. I would love to see the refs stick a little karma up his little BDS, but he deserves it.
And if I did not cash out, we got Kansas State at Iowa State. I'd be rooting for Kansas State, I believe, for this one.
Yes, you would be normally.
And now I don't care.
No, I don't think
only in Iowa State.
The number tells me Iowa State. Kansas State got some issues. I guess Iowa State, they've won 9 games, like a ton of times. They never had a 10-win season. I think that streak's coming to an end.
About time.
I think they can take Kansas State here.
Sure. And finally, New Mexico at Hawaii.
I know. And you're reading that like, why did you put that there? I put that there for 2 reasons. One, New Mexico, I don't know if they've ever been a favorite over anybody. Actually, Air Force, earlier in the year, they were like a 5-point favorite. But I believe Hawaii's quarterback is injured and out, Brendan Shager, which could only be the only reason why New Mexico would be favored here because their defense is so bad. We always joke about how, stay calm. There's always a game in Hawaii. This is the last official regular season college football game of the year. So this is the bailout special. If anybody needs a game to get out of their terrible regular season, like yours truly, this is your game. And if I was going to bet this, I'd take New Mexico, man. I don't think Hawaii can keep up with New Mexico's offense. 3 seems kind of like a gimme, but
would this count? Would this count as a 2 time zone game from New Mexico? Are they in Mountain Time? And I don't think Hawaii's in Pacific Time. They're before. So technically, wouldn't this be a 2 time zone? One of those?
Well, I don't know how far it is from New Mexico to Hawaii. If it's 2 time zones, it doesn't seem to be very far. But
I think it's a 4 or 5 hour flight from LA, isn't it? I don't know. I don't have my air map, so
we'd love to go to Hawaii someday to find out. But that's mainly there because this is your last regular season game of the year, people. So if you need a bailout after a rough rivalry week, that's your game to look at.
All right. You want to take speak for Pete here with his picks?
Yeah, so he's got 1 unit on the under, Minnesota and Wisconsin under 43.5, 1 unit on Nebraska, Iowa under 39.5. And in the big rivalry game, he is going over 43.5, Michigan and Ohio State.
Okay, and I've got Boise State -19 over Oregon State. I've got Illinois -7 over Northwestern. I've got Florida 4 units -14 over Florida State.
Our biggest play of the year. There it is, baby.
And only because I didn't want to go too crazy, but and I placed an end of the year future bet with the cash out hunting. I got Indiana to win the national championship, 1 unit at +6,000. Any final thoughts?
Go Buckeyes. Go fighting Marcus Freeman's. That's all I got to say. And thank you, USC. But, please don't win again this week. Thanks.
All right. Well, what are you looking forward to for Thanksgiving dinner?
Just the 4 of us. So should be, well, I would say it would be nice and quiet, but we've got 2 dogs and 3 cats. My daughter brought home her cat. My son brought home his roommate's cat. and my wife's oldest daughter is on vacation with her family. We have her St. Bernard.
Ooh, nice.
I'm looking to move out for the weekend. So if anybody wants somebody to watch college football with them all week.
Yeah. Well, the guy I see at the gym a lot, he says that he was giving me a stats that the average Thanksgiving dinner without dessert and drinks is 3,500 calories. I am slamming over on that for me.
I was going to say, is there a line on that? Like 3,500 and a half?
I mean, I'll have that done before the turkey even comes out of the oven with like the my brother-in-law cooks his ass off. He could bring over his chicken wings and some shrimp puffs and some.
Is that just a Thanksgiving dinner thing, or is that like 12:01 a.m. on Thursday to 11:59?
No, the dinner, just the dinner alone, 3,500
okay.
calories. If you count drinks and desserts, he says it goes up to 6,000. I'm still slamming you over. There's no way.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be with you on that, man. But 'tis the season.
It is. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, everybody. As
Yeah, be
always,
safe,
thank you all
everyone.
for listening. Please like and subscribe, leave a review, email us at cfbdudes@yahoo.com. Once again, thank you for listening. Enjoy a happy and safe Thanksgiving, and we will see you next week.